So there was a term that I was introduced to earlier this year,
Mm-hmm.
maybe last year. I think it was this year because it's really stuck with me ever since. From your brother. Your brother introduced me to this term called a DINK.
Yeah, not a pickleball thing.
Yeah, those can get confused because your family also likes to play pickleball.
Yeah,
But
we're
a
huge.
DINK,
Yeah.
for those of you who do not know, stands for dual income, no kids.
Yep.
And your brother Charlie was telling us, we don't have to worry about certain things because we're dinks.
Yeah.
So ever since he said that, it's just been a term that's been floating around in my mind.
Dual income, no
Dual
kids.
income, no kids. That's what we are. We do have a fur family.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 dogs. We have how many cats now?
4 and
an outdoor cat.
and 1 outdoor cat.
So 5 total.
Yeah.
And then we also have 2 chinchillas.
Yeah. So we have kids.
Not to say that we're not parents of any sort.
Yeah.
We are parents. And some could argue that, it's relatively the same.
Yeah.
But also very different. We are dinks by choice. And getting closer to a wedding, since we're getting married next month, that's a very natural question to ask couples who are about to get married is, all right, so after the wedding, when can we expect kids?
Yeah. Are y'all gonna have kids? When are y'all gonna have kids?
Mm-hmm.
And they're for sure going to start asking that question more and more and more. But I
don't think so.
I don't think they will with us. Because we've set the precedent. It's not in our books.
We've been firm about it.
Yeah.
My parents, I feel like they don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like they do. They would want grandchildren, but it's not like I'm their only kid. My sister's always wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
And she's made it known since she was little. She's like, I'm going to have kids. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm destined to do.
And as a kid, you didn't say that stuff, right?
No. Yeah. I've always been a big animal girl.
Yeah.
Like my pets and everything were my world, and that never changed.
Yeah.
And I was never somebody who looked at a kid and was like, "Oh my God, I need it."
Yeah.
I'd be like,
and
no, thank you.
At the beginning of our relationship, that was one of the first things we talked about was kids.
I think that's a very important thing to talk about at the beginning of a relationship.
Because in any relationship, you need to get the big questions out of the way.
Yeah. Not to say that the person won't be able to like change their mind, because at first you weren't pro kids or against kids.
No, I was just kind of middle ground. I mean, I was gonna have kids. Like in my future, I was gonna have kids. And that's because that's what we're taught as a society in general. Like, you find someone you love, you get married, you have kids, they have kids, the cycle repeats.
Mm-hmm. No, but the bloodline ends here.
It definitely doesn't end here, because my brother has kids, my sister has kids, and that
my bloodline ends here.
that plays a big picture in it too, of the fact that my brother has kids, my sister has kids. For me, when you were like, I really don't want kids, it never bothered me. Like, it kind of was.
You weren't ever hoping that I would change my mind a little bit?
No.
Okay.
Not really. I always thought you might. I thought you might. And I still think you might, but I don't prefer one or the other. Like, I'm 100%. I also firmly believe, like, I'm the dad. I don't have to do any of the birthing or having the baby. So, like, I also just don't think that it's really my place.
Right.
If I did, I wouldn't be with you. But like, if one day you're like, yes, I do want kids for some random reason, I'm the one. You're like, no, we're not having kids ever. Period. I'm more of the, I guess, like, if you ever chose to either adopt or whatever, like, I would still be open to it, but I don't have to have it. Like, I'm 100% middle ground, and that's because if I want kids, all we got to do is drive up and see my family.
You have a lot.
We have plenty of kids,
children,
and everyone says, "Well, it's so different. They're not yours." And I guess, yeah, you're right. I don't know that feeling. I don't thrive to have that feeling, though, and I don't think you do either. No. And that's the part in me that's like, maybe one day we think that we might thrive to have that feeling, because I can't predict the future.
People already say that, oh, like, don't worry, you're going to feel it. No, I don't. Every time I go up there, I get more turned off to the feeling. Not in the bad way that I'm making it sound, but it's just more, no, it's more, I really love being the fun aunt.
Yeah.
Fun.
And I think that's that's my thing. Like I've been called Uncle Chance since I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been Uncle Chance since I was 11. And to me that's been so much fun. Like I feel like if I have kids, I no longer get to spoil my nieces or nephews. Not that I spoil them a lot right now, but the second you have your own family, like that shit goes out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my brother buying gifts for Chelsea's kids, that I don't feel like that happens a lot, honestly. Like maybe Christmas, and that's really it. But as of, you and I, every time we go up, I feel like every time we go up there, we go up with something for them.
Right.
Like it's hand-me-down stuff, or it's something that we found at Target or TJ Maxx. And it's like, I think you'd like this, or my PlayStation. I'm like, here, Braden, you can play. Like all of that would go out of the window if we had kids.
Right.
And to me, that's fine. Like I don't need to have kids. I'm perfectly happy with my nieces and nephews and with our life. And the fact is, I wouldn't want to bring kids into the world right now anyways. Like there's so many contradicting things going on, and just a whole nother podcast of what's going on in the world.
There's just more cons than there are pros for me.
Yeah.
And of course, they're a mini you. They're half you and half the person you love most of the time.
And they would be beautiful. They'd be awesome. We'd probably be great at it. It's
Sure.
just,
No, I mean,
it's not enticing.
I've liked kids. I don't have a hatred for children. I love being someone that can hang out with kids and, make them smile,
Right.
buy them things. Like it's my goal to be the rich aunt. And then be able to give them back to their parents.
Yeah. But it's funny because I feel like every time we say it, like people look at us like, no, there's something inside of you that's going to want a kid. Or like if I say like, I would be open to either. I feel like people look at me like, you want kids then. Like you're just doing that because she doesn't want kids. Like, no, I genuinely don't give a shit.
See, well,
Like-
I'm on the firm no. Because not only does, if you choose to go through pregnancy yourself, not only does it take a toll on your body and leave so many women dealing with postpartum depression and, hating themselves and not connecting with their child, but it's something so life altering. Just the way that you go about your daily routine completely changes.
Can't travel.
You can't travel.
Can't do
I
certain
honestly
things.
feel like our attention would completely be away from our pets.
Yeah.
And they're my world. Like,
Yeah.
In complete honesty, my animals are my
jobs.
world. My job would have to change. Your finances would have to go towards the children. No more you time. No more.
And people don't like analyze that stuff when they have kids, in my
they don't
opinion.
make a list.
I
of
feel like
things,
more
right?
than half of the people, they don't like write down what are all the things that are going to change when I have kids.
Mhm.
I don't think they logically think that. I think it's,
Well,
I
go
love
back to
you.
the TikTok guy who said, the people who aren't
Yeah.
having kids are the ones who should be having them.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about these things.
Yeah, I think it's, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Well, let's make a mini us.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but have you thought of all of these things?
Mhm.
And if all of those things don't add up, maybe you shouldn't have a kid, at least right now,
Right.
for them, for that couple. Maybe you have it at a better time in your life. Or
Then there's also the question, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? I think that's why I'm married. We take care of each other.
Yeah.
And I think if we are both blessed and lucky enough to live up to a certain age where we can move into a retirement home, we admit ourselves.
also,
and
we won't
live
have
together.
kids, therefore we'll have more savings. Therefore, we can
Period.
afford at-home care. Like,
If we're lucky, yes, absolutely.
and the whole thing of like, well, you won't be surrounded by your loved ones. I'm sorry, but if I'm 70, 80, 90, 100 years old dying and I'm not surrounded by loved ones, I didn't do something right in my life, because
Right.
you can create more loved ones. It's called friends.
It's not even that. We have other family members. You have
Yeah.
sisters and you have, your nieces and nephews. We're not completely alone. If
Right.
we are alone by the time we are on our deathbeds, we did not live life correctly.
We didn't, because there are tons of people younger than us in our families.
Right.
So we screwed up somewhere.
Mhm.
That's not a fact of, I don't think that should be a factor of why do you have kids? Because when I die, I need them to take care of me. Wow, selfish. Like,
There's actually a lot of videos that I've seen, because I'm pretty much on child-free TikTok now. I said once, hey, I don't want children, and now all I see are
TikTok, that's
child-free
all it says.
TikTok videos. There's this lady who says the people having children are having them for selfish reasons.
I can see how some people would be doing that. I definitely
Because
don't think all
no, I
people
don't
do
think
it,
all
but
people are, but if they're like, I just want somebody to love me and to be obsessed with me,
yeah.
or to do these
Or
things,
I want to obsess over them, or I want to
or
make them look cute, or I want to
I want
live
someone to
like,
take care of me when I'm old.
yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah.
if that's how you, that's fine. That's just not the route that I prefer to take.
And this is one of those topics, I don't even know why it's controversial. Like, I don't know why.
I have never cared about what any woman chooses to do with her body, whether she chooses to bring kids
Right.
into the world or not. I don't know why it's so controversial, but I don't care. It does
Yeah.
not affect me in any way, shape, or form.
It's just wild that, like, no matter how many times we say it, like, yeah, probably not. It's just like they don't get it. Like, certain people just don't understand. Like,
I still get asked the questions, like, back at my old job before I got this one,
yeah.
people would talk about, oh, we're doing this, this, and this, and then, Haley, when are you gonna have kids? Oh, we're not going to. Oh, you say that now, but
Yeah.
just wait. I'm like, I'm almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
And if anything, the more I see children, the more I distance myself from the idea. Also, because we've been able to go on so many trips together and just be able to say, hey, we've got our dogs. We can have somebody come in and check up on the dogs. We leave them with food and water, and they've got all their toys in the backyard, and they have each other. You can't do that with a kid.
The
You can't put the kid
things,
outside with some kibble and water and leave.
yeah, it's just wild that, like, people think that it's like, I've heard that it's selfish not to have kids.
Okay, well then call me selfish.
No, but, like, I don't see how that's at all selfish. Like, I'm choosing not to have kids not because I want my life to be the absolute best. That's not the only reason. It's
But it is
also
a reason.
it is a reason, but I'm saying it's also the fact that I get to focus when I go up to my parents' house, right? It's me, you, and my parents. They never will have to share their attention besides between just me and you.
Right.
Like, there's not three other kids that are going to intervene. For me, that's not a selfish reason at all. I want to be able to have as much possible time with my parents that I possibly can. I want to spend as much time that I can with my brother and my sister and their kids. If I have my own kids, that all seriously goes out of the window.
But I think that's what people mean when they say selfish. I don't think they mean it to be in a bad way that it's selfish, but it's you want things for you. That's what being selfish is. I think it is selfish to bring a kid into the world in the sense that if you have a kid right now in today's climate, it's just terrifying. And it would be selfish for me to bring something into the world just for the sake of it being cute and loving me forever, but sending it into an economy that sucks right now, knowing they probably won't ever buy their own home.
Yeah, honestly, it's
I mean,
freaking hard.
the whole gun things and places getting shot up and schools being a target. I say this all the time, but it feels like like when we were in school, that was the last time that school was safe.
Yeah,
So
now it's
nowadays it's
scary.
just, okay, yeah, I'm going to have a kid so I can love you, but once you're out there,
Good luck.
good luck. No, so I do think it's selfish in a sense, just not in the negative way we're thinking about it. I have also not wanted children because I still feel like a child right now. I don't think that it's hit me that I'm about to get married, that I'm almost 30, that this is an appropriate time to have children. My best friend, 3 years ago, she sends me a text. It says, I'm pregnant. I freak out like it's a teen pregnancy. I'm like, oh my God, what are you going to do? She goes, Haley, I'm married.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, right. This is an appropriate time to do that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you going to keep it? What's happening? Yes, I'm going to keep it. I'm married. It's time to start a family.
And that's the only reason that I'm like, if one day you ever choose to, because maybe your mindset changes from where it is right now, then I would be open for things.
Very, very slim chance of that. I just love our life right now.
I know.
I love that
So do I.
we can buy and flip houses. I love that we can take cruises. I love that we can fly and see my family whenever. We can have impromptu Disney days. But no, I think I just love our life and I don't really want anything to change in that aspect. You have any closing thoughts for the fellow dinks out there.
It's kind of like a wrap up of everything.
Yeah.
If you're a fellow dink, don't succumb to the pressure.
Mm-mm.
I think that's the biggest thing.
I would much rather regret not having children than having a child and regretting that I had it.
Ooh, that's gold right there. That is good. Seriously, because you could have really screwed up a freaking life if you chose to have a kid and then you're like, ugh, can I return it? No, you can't. Like, and I don't think people realize that.